All right. Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Started an hour later, because I know a lot of you have to stay up and watch the Vikings tonight. So all the best with the Vikings as they kick off their 2025 season. So look forward to watching them. With that, we'll open up for questions.
You've had a lot of success on the West Coast. You're at Minnesota wins over Oregon State, Fresno State, UCLA last year. What do you attribute that to?
I think it's its own entity. I think anytime you play an opponent, you do everything you can to beat that particular opponent, whether on the East Coast, North, South, West, and you prepare accordingly. You know, the whole goal of the mission is to be 1-0 this week. I know Cal probably feels the exact same way. You know, we got to head out there. We have a certain process that we do anytime we're heading out to different time zones. We've worked with Dr. Howell, our sleep doctor, and a lot of people in the off season. Gained a lot of data. Garrett Chernoff, his staff, gained a ton of data. And then we put together the best plan we possibly can to make sure that we can play our best football from 9:30 Central to almost 1 a.m. Central on our bodies. So there's a lot of things we have to do for that to happen. Not only just the football preparation like a normal week, but we have to do a lot of other things and move some schedule pieces around. So I think our players are going to handle that really well. We had a great meeting yesterday about it. We got to start Cal a little bit during that long week when we were going into this past week, which was good. So we got kind of a jump start on then, but it's definitely a challenge, that's for sure. But it's every week has its own challenges when you want to be 1-0. And if you want to be 1-0, you got to pay a price, and there's a lot of different things that go into that.
What do you guys see as the benefit of staying on Central Time?
There's a lot of different scientific data based on. You know, I'm not saying we're staying on Central Time, right? I'm saying it's all about our bodies of where we are on Central Time, looking at the time we play. When we actually go out there, there's different places that we'll go where we'll actually keep it on Central Time. When we actually land, we will be on Pacific Time with their phones. There's a lot of things it does with your brain and your mind and your mindset. We're talking about, you know, we're still going out there on Friday. So on your body, how do you train all week to make sure that you can have the best performance you possibly can from 9:30 on your body naturally, right, to 1 a.m. on your body naturally. So, you know, you don't have a bye week to prepare for that either. So you go right into it and do the best you possibly can to prepare for it, and then go out and hopefully play your best football and train to be able to play your best football.
In the past, you had mentioned that you try to be there as little as possible, as short amount of time as possible. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah, I mean, it's hard when you have a really like a late kickoff, right, and a night game on the West Coast. But we're doing everything we possibly can to follow certain things that have really worked for us in the past, and then looking at certain things that haven't necessarily worked for us in the past. Because, you know, we've got to be able to start faster in a lot of different areas. I'm not just saying just from past, but you look back as a head coach and you look back at certain games, and you're like, how can we play better when we go to that area? I mean, you're always doing that as a football coach, whether that's on the field, off the field. You're doing that in your travel. You challenge a lot of people who the travel is their job to find the best methods to make sure you can stay in the best performance zone you possibly can for that 3.5 hours where you have to perform and be judged.
If Darius can't go, do you kind of view it as a running back by committee approach type? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this at the beginning of the year. I mean, it's not just Darius, it's any of them. I mean, if any of them happen to go down, we're pretty deep at the tailback position. I think a lot of guys got a ton of carries, you know, last week, which was really good. Feme did a really nice job. AJ, Cam, you know, our leading rusher was a true freshman in Grant Washington. So we have to have a depth at that position. And anytime you're running the football in the Big Ten, you're going to have a lot of depth behind maybe you're just number one guy because things happen and injuries are part of the game. It's part of it. It's not if it happens, it's when it happens. I thought our guys did a really good job responding to it. Happened really early in the game in the first few carries. So I thought our guys really stepped in, and these are guys who played a ton of football too. This isn't just we provided depth in guys who haven't played Power 5 football or Power 4 football or high group of 5 football. So we trust our backs. I think they're really talented in all different ways, and it'll be fun to put this game plan together if he can't go.
PJ, just heard you on the radio say positively about Darius.
Yeah.
What are you willing to share about that?
Not much. Just they asked me how it went. I said we got some good news, and that was good. So because there's levels to any type of injury, and no matter what it is, right? So just got some good news, and you know, again, the injury report will come out 2 hours before.
Are you expecting him? Is he planning to practice this week?
Injury report will come out 2 hours before, Andy. I really wish I could tell you that.
There's steam gaining for a one transfer portal window instead of two, one just in January. Do you have an opinion one way or another?
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
Why is that?
Well, because I think having first of all, everybody's got their own opinions of it, depending on when your school starts, depending on what's good for your school. This isn't just a standardized league like the National Football League, where one's for good, or if it's good for one, it's good for all of them because it's all under this, it's all standardized, right? It's all the same. This is very different. Everybody's going to have an opinion based on where they see themselves playing in the postseason, what their traditions are, where the school starts, how does it affect their enrollment. How does it affect them on their chase to a national championship? How it affects a first-year coach, how he's rebuilding his program. Everybody's going to have their own philosophy on it. I think getting back down to one portal helps a team become a team, period. And I think that's the whole main goal out of what we're all attempting to do is to create the best team we possibly can on the field from August through January. And I think the one portal allows us to do that. I think once you get through January, if that's what that ultimately gets decided upon, you know what your team's going to be like in February, which we all knew in the old model, at least signing day, you knew that first Wednesday in February, this is our team, right? And I think the faster you can get to that, they pick January, great. If they pick February, great. They picked March, great. Whenever they got to that, because everybody had their own, in head coaches meetings, you hear it, everybody's got their own opinions, and it's all based on what benefits their school. So if you did that with 136 teams, you're going to have 136 different opinions. But if we can get to a part where you can say, okay, this is the model, we're going to stick to this, everybody's going to adapt to it. And everybody's going to adapt to it based on what's good for them. But I think it's really healthy to know what your team's going to look like come February. And you don't have to worry about that whole model of now we have another spring portal change. You can start building your team a lot faster without the worry of losing a lot of your depth in April. So it's going to be, I think, beneficial. Now, again, people are going to have their opinions, but I think for us, the way we build our program, I like where it's at.
PJ, I know the whole cliche of this is their first big test this weekend, but is there some intrigue on how Drake plays this Saturday, just in a bigger moment like this?
Yeah, I think just, you only get 12 opportunities guaranteed. Every single one of them are really, really big. There's no one that's just bigger than the other just because. I think that's all hype. I think that's all media. That's all outside distractions. That's what everybody's job is to do. I mean, look at yesterday in week 1 in the National Football League and all the things that were done and all those games that came down to the end, the Buffalo Ravens game at the end, it was crazy. But all the hype leading up to that, listen, it's all about your preparation. I think Drake's a very mature young man for being a freshman. And this is not about micromanaging your quarterback. I don't believe in that. He's got the same system Max Brosmer did. If not, he's probably got a little bit more on his plate. And it's about, here's what we're doing. We need to get as good at it as fast as possible, and we need to continue to mature. I think he's shown that he can handle himself in a lot of high-pressure situations. I mean, games are games. They all count the same, right? One loss, one win. They all count for one, and the whole goal is to be 1-0. He's shown that he's a very mature young man. He traveled with the team all last year, but everything he does as a starter is always for the first time, year one. So this is the first time he's going out to the West Coast Cal. Okay, well, that was the first time he played in a game at home and against an FCS opponent last week. Game 1 was the first time he ever had a start. So, I mean, there's going to be so many firsts for him, and it just goes back to his preparation, which has been outstanding. His maturity and his leadership is beyond, his years right now. So, proud of him, and he's going to continue to learn. He's going to fail. He's going to grow. He's going to have some good plays. He's going to have some plays he probably wants back. He's going to keep learning situational football as he goes through it, and that knowing doing is what we have to continue to connect. So, so far, I'm really, really pleased with what he's been able to do and what he can handle, and Coach Harbaugh's doing a really good job along with that relationship with those two.
A Saturday score suggests that most things went well for you. What were the teaching moments that you brought out of that okay, you got to be better at certain things?
Well, there were some things. It doesn't matter. Here's the one thing. We have 60 minutes of football. Well, we had 53 minutes of football. We have a sign in our coaching office in our staff room that says "Coach Everything." I mean, I don't think you could tell whether we were up 66 or we were down 66. We were about coaching our players. Every single person that went on the field, that standard was set to our standard as an organization. Not a standard of like, okay, you're a 2 or a 3 and this is mop-up time. There is no mop-up time. No such thing as mop-up time. I've never believed in that. Just like I don't believe in the momentum piece, I don't believe in the mop-up time piece. You're going in there to execute the game plan, and you're going to be evaluated based on how you execute that game plan and how you execute your fundamentals, your technique. And it doesn't matter what the score is, and it doesn't matter what the time is. And I think that, we had 76 players play. I wanted to have about 15 to 16 more players play. There was still, on my chart, there was still 17, or it was 7 minutes ago, there was a whole new platoon going in the game. And that's to gain experience, to gain maturity, to be able to find out what we can do, to continue to bring the floor of the program up, to give them the experience. Nothing's better than experience. Nothing replaces experience. You have to go play the game to be good at the game. And but the standard, no matter who's in the game, is incredibly high. And I think when you watched our coaches coach, from the start of the game to the end of the game, we were coaching. And there's so many certain small moments, Randy, that we could really learn from. One of them was the punt, the sky punt that was bounced at the 3, went in the end zone. Might as well just go for it. And Tom and I, he's going to keep learning situational football. I thought Tom did a tremendous job holding on to that ball. Tom's a really good punter, really good. But in that certain situation, people could sit there and say, that's no big deal. Or you can take that as that teaching moment, that 5-second teaching moment right then, to know that that's not the standard, right? And I think that's, hopefully I answered your question, because it's kind of all over the place.
PJ Cal starting the true freshman at quarterback.
Sure.
What stands out to you about him?
Yeah, he doesn't look like a true freshman. He looks like he's been there a long time. You can tell he's very poised, very mature. It looks like he's played at Cal for a long time already. He's got a good pocket presence. He knows when to use his legs. He's very accurate. They do a really good job catching the ball for him. But he is a really, really talented QB. The poise for him as a true freshman is very rare. So we got our work cut out for us, that's for sure.
When you talk about 76 players, are there any ones that kind of stood out, kind of played into a better role going forward, or more of a role going forward?
Well, I think when you look at the running backs, you look at week 1, and Darius took the majority of the carries. But I think when you kind of go back and you look at AJ, you look at Cam, you look at Feme, that's kind of the next up mentality, and I thought they did a good job with that. It was good to hit the explosive play to Javon from Drake, getting an explosive play. A lot of our players, Andy, only played 9 to 10 snaps. It's not a lot. We did some extra stuff yesterday because we had to run a little bit, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think we had 37 total plays on defense, in a 66-0 game, almost 42 plays against Buffalo. That's not a lot. That's either a really good thing or a really bad thing, right? And this happens to be a really good thing at the start of the season. So we just got to continue to build on that. There were a lot of different guys that got in there. I think Max, being the backup quarterback, Shigajansky did a really good job. He was 4 or 5 for 80 yards plus a touchdown, but I thought he handled himself really well. Dylan Whitkey got in there and handled himself really well, getting us in the right plays. The interception, I'm sure he wants back. He won't make that mistake again, but I thought he handled himself really well in the quarterback position of what we were going to do. Then defensively, watching Matt Kingsbury, I think a lot of people saw him play 2 years ago as a true freshman when, 2 years ago we lost a lot of depth in the portal, in the second portal, and to your question, Ryan, and he had to play as a true freshman like a lot of our guys did that year, and we weren't necessarily very good on defense, and now all that experience is paying off. And I thought he played really well. He's got to continue to work on his eyes and things like that. But boy, swarm to the ball. Our guys were doing that all over the place on offense, on defense. Again, they get 12 opportunities to play, and you want to see our style and our how everywhere, every play. And we got 10 in a row, and it's all Power 4 football, and I don't expect anything less.
What's the assessment of Cal's defense?
Yeah, very good. I have a lot of respect for Coach Wilcox and what he's been able to do throughout his career as a defensive football coach. And kind of like us a little bit, where they swarm to the ball. They play violently. They're really smart. They're very advantageous on, being in the right place, right time, taking advantage of when you're going to give them the ball, whether it's through the air. And they've knocked some balls out and got some takeaways, scored points off takeaways. At Oregon State game, they got 10 points off off of takeaways, and also I think had one called back. So, they swarm to the ball. They're really aggressive. They have a defensive end, number 43, and they're all really good. But this 43, I mean, he plays with a really, really high motor. Kind of reminds you of a Boye Mafe type player that we had. Very, very productive. I mean, he's got a high motor. And then one of the best players I've watched on tape is their linebacker 0. Now, if you go back to the old Pac-10, Pac-12, I mean, whatever it was at that particular moment, it's so fast how it goes, right? When you go back to that, I think he was the freshman player of the year, his freshman year. He is very, very active. It kind of reminds you of a Maverick Baranowski and kind of Cody Lindenberg put together. He is very active. He's one of the best players on defense. But they swarm to the ball. They've got really good secondary. They've made a bunch of plays in the secondary. I'm talking about tough plays, not balls that just came right to them. They've had to, on divide coverage and cover 3, step in front of a seam, and they've done a lot of really good things on defense. And I know that's where Coach Wilcox takes a lot of pride. And he's a defensive-minded coach, and you can see his DNA all over that defense. And then you got Coach Harsin on offense, who's been around to a lot of different places, been a head coach multiple places, been a coordinator a lot of places, and you can see his imprint too. So we have a huge challenge playing an ACC team and Cal. And like I told you before, I think they lost 4 total games last year by like 9 total points. I mean, this could have been a 10-win team easily last year. And when you look at the structure of their schedule, like a lot of people will break down our schedule and look at the 1-possession games. I mean, they could have won a lot more games, and they're that close. So we know they're a really good football team. We feel like we're a really good football team. Feel like it's going to be a really good matchup there out in Berkeley.
Final word for Coach. Is everyone all set? All right. Thanks for coming.
Yep, thanks, everybody. Enjoy the game tonight. Skull Vikes. Row the boat, Sky Mago Gophers. Thanks.